Hi guys, today we will be looking at how governments can use taxes as a method to intervene in the free market when there is market failure arising due to negative externalities. Okay, let's begin. Okay, first of all, we need to remember how negative externalities is represented in the diagram. When there are presence of negative externalities generated from a consumption or the production of some goods, this means that the marginal private cost borne by the individual and the marginal social cost borne by the society is actually different. Because of the presence of negative externalities, the marginal social cost will be higher than the marginal private cost at all levels of output. So what this means is that the free market quantity QF is actually much higher than the socially efficient quantity QS in the free market, and this means that there is overconsumption or overproduction of a particular good or service. As a result of this overconsumption or overproduction, there will be an associated dead weight loss that society have to bear. So this means that society's welfare is actually not maximized. So in this case, due to the dead weight loss that arises, the governments sometimes will need to intervene with certain policies in order to resolve this market failure. That is, the governments will want to try and bring the market to the socially efficient outcome, to try and force consumers or producers to consume or produce at the socially efficient quantity such that the dead weight loss is eliminated. One method to do this is actually through the use of taxes. What the governments can do is that they can implement a tax equivalent to the marginal external cost at QS. What this means is, and you need to look at the screen very carefully now, when a tax is imposed, this will increase the MPC as such to MPC plus tax. Now, you would have noticed that not only is the dead weight loss eliminated, the overconsumption or the overproduction is also resolved. Consumption and production now takes place at a socially efficient quantity. In a nutshell, a tax that's equivalent to the MEC generated at QS will increase the marginal private cost to MPC plus tax. We say that when the government does this, we say that this forces the individual to internalize the negative externality in his decision making. That means the tax actually forces the individual to consider the negative externality that he generates when he consumes or produces a particular product. So this individual, when he internalizes his negative externality that is generated, he will maximize his net private benefit at MPC plus tax equals MPB, and he will consume or produce at QS. Now, if this negative externality is generated from the consumption of a particular good, so for example, the consumption of cigarettes that led to negative externalities such as secondhand smoke affecting people around the smoker, the explanation here on the screen will need to be from the consumer's point of view. But let's say the negative externality that we are looking at is generated from the production of certain goods and services, for example, pollution. For example, a factory produces some goods or service and dumps toxic waste into rivers and therefore affecting residents living near the rivers. This explanation that you see on the screen will need to be from the producer's point of view. Okay, so when do we use this diagram and also the explanation that I've just mentioned? We usually use this diagram and the explanation when you're trying to explain how the government can intervene in the market when there is market failure due to the presence of negative externalities. This is just one method that the government can use. Of course, there are other methods that the governments can use. For example, banning, which we will explore in the next video.